What up, everybody? Soloist TCG here, coming from a little bit of a break. I went back to work after a bunch of flood damage that happened back home, and everything's fine. All the flood damage is taken care of on my side of the family even, but my area is really still pretty bad. So thoughts and prayers if you do that. It's pretty bad. But we're coming today with some OP11, and you know it wouldn't be Soloist TCG if I didn't hit my main man Arlong first. I've been a cope. I've been on the copium train. I am a cope. I've been on the copium train for this leader since I started playing the game. But I unironically think this deck might be rogue now. I made a tweet earlier that said I think this might actually have a winning matchup into blue-purple Luffy. And it made a lot of people like, ooh, what is it? Well, really? What are you cooking? And I was like, this is the first time I've ever been taken seriously about this. But I don't really necessarily think it's that wrong of a statement. I definitely think if blue-purple Luffy gets online and starts doing its things, it's pretty GG. But we definitely have the tools to do a lot of stuff in this meta. I'm going to go over each card a little bit here. One thing you'll notice is that there's a lot more East Blue characters than usual when I used to play. So we get to run this Nami card now so we can get some pieces that actually make the deck really work. Disclaimer. Nami searches for East Blue type characters, and Lord of the Coast is East Blue, as you can see right over there, all the way over there. Perspective is tough. But for some reason in Sim, it's not letting you grab Lord of the Coast right now, and I really looked at it back and forth quite a bit, and I don't really know why, so maybe I'll report it, but it's not letting you grab Lord of the Coast. But, you know, you can still grab a lot of other things, like this Arlong card, being able to lock something down to be unrestable, which means you make something not able to block, and you make it to where something can't attack next turn. Easy to lock things down. It's so much diversity with this card. And it puts a Rested Dawn on leader, so you can use a leader ability easier. This Buggy, we only run 3 of them, because it's only good to get that double attack out once a turn, or pretty much once a game. Not a turn, obviously it's once a turn. But we don't run too many of these because you will just brick on them. Karubi goes up to a 4 of with so much, like the 8 cost Katakuri, so many blockers in this meta. Being able to rest something is so huge for going for game. We still run 3 Django just because it's kind of like that I'm invincible move. It's so easy to go incredibly wide to go for game. I decided to use Chu instead of Buzzcut Mochi. If you want to know what Buzzcut Mochi does, for 2 Dawn, if you have less life than your opponent, KO a 4 cost or less character. This is on play KO a rested 4 cost or less character, and it's a little more clunky because it's obviously 4 Dawn, but you can trigger it and kill something on board, and you can play it off leader ability. But the big thing is this is a lot more of a rush lockdown list than Arlong has ever played. So believe it or not, in my playtesting, I'm not less life than my opponent a lot. I'm hardly ever less life than my opponent because they're always swinging into my board. I'm taking every hit they throw my way, and they realize that's not a very good idea, so I should swing his board, and then I'm countering out for my guys. So Buzzcut Mochi is actually not that useful, and in IRL playtesting, when I ran 4 of these, I bricked on them bad in hand, and I would lose so many games sitting here with 2 or 3 of these in hand. So I'm not so much of a believer. If it ever comes back to a meta where you are having less life than your opponent, then I could understand that. But like with this Arlong card locking things down, this Arlong card locking down leader, of course you trash a card and your rested leader can't attack next turn. The Lord of the Coast freezing anything is like carrot, but literally 10 cost Shanks comes on board, plop Lord of the Coast down, it can't do anything. Shanks is still terrified of this guy for taking his arm. This is such a freaking good card, and as soon as we can search with Nami, it'll get even better. So I decided to Chew instead. We do Hotshot just because you can trigger play him out with 1 Dawn, he's a 5k swing, but also it's a searchable 2k, so it pretty much just guarantees that you will hit your search. Arlong we've already went over. Hody is actually something I put in again recently, and I wouldn't mind to find ways to trim and make it higher, but Hody is a card you really want to have into the blue-purple matchup specifically, so you can go for those game-winning plays, you can rest blockers, and most importantly, you can rest Dawn and completely shut off Gum Gum Giant. And even if Gum Gum Giant gets banned, there's still going to be that Gear Second event card that people are running. So Hody is actually super good right now into all of the purple Straw Hat decks because you can rest those Dawn. So I would advise playing Hody in almost any green deck. I would love to go up to 3 of them, but Kikinojo, I'm still playing Kikinojo as actually my only non Fishman or Straw Hat target, other than Fishman or East Blue I meant, but then even then there's one right here. But we'll go one by one. The new Arlong card, if your leader has a Fishman type and you have 3 or less life and your opponent has 5 or more rested cards, this card gains -3 cost while in hand. There's a lot of conditions to that, but believe it or not, they come up a lot more than you would think. And it's actually very easy to get this guy out. And it's basically just a 4 cost 7k body that you can cheat out with leader ability. Very good to have very early. Lord of the Coast, we already went over. Such a stinking good card. I can't get over it. We have a new Jinbei 2k. Obviously it's not searchable, but it does have a really good trigger to just play it out, and it's a 2k at the end of the day. But a really cool thing is a lot of our 2ks, I think all of our 2ks here, yeah, I mean, this one less so, but it's still a decent choice, can be used with leader ability if you don't have a good target. One of the problems with this deck I'm learning from the last deck is in the previous builds from Arlong, we pretty much just ran 50 targets for leader ability that were just good. Now, if you want to just get a body on board to swing, we have this can't be used with leader ability, but it's still such a good card. This isn't a good body to play out just to get a body out. This is not a good body to get out to have a body to play out. This definitely isn't. So we have this many targets here that are just not good targets for leader ability, as well as these targets here that are not targets for leader ability. So I like to have these 2Ks that are targets for leader ability because if you don't need them, they're still a 2K. And of course, I still run Kikinojo. I still think Kikinojo is probably the best non-East Blue or Fishman target for Arlong because it's so incredibly sticky. It doesn't have counter. That's one big downside, but it will stick on the board, and that 4-6 stat line is so good. Now, obviously, with Arlong, cards to consider, type in 4. Here's your cards to consider. Look for anything with a trigger. Honestly, you can adjust your playstyle so much here. Sanji is still really good. One card I think is really actually good to consider is Brûlé. Brûlé, and in fact, I've been testing with Brûlé a lot, just because this is your Beiji trigger. If you get this, look, this can save you games. But I opted to go away from my 2 Brûlés, so keck in my 2 Hodis. You could see a world where you maybe would go down on some of these cards that don't have counter and put in 2 of them. And in fact, I am actually doing this deck list before the video, so maybe I'll go to 3 Arlongs. And let's test 2 Kikunojos, just 2. And we'll test that right now. Brûlé is actually a really, really good card to have just because it's just a blocker. Blockers are super good. And it's a blocker you can throw out with leader ability if you have no other targets. Ooh, leader ability. Always wanting to do leader ability. Always, always. Of course, we have S-Shark. S-Shark is a classic. S-Hawk is something I kind of phased out. Just didn't feel like it was doing as well as other things. But Unblockable is nothing to scoff at. You could run this instead of Kikinojo just because it has counter, and then Unblockable could come in handy more. I just think the stickier bodies in a removal-based era is just, I personally, a little more valuable. I always thought this promo Zoro was really cool because it can KO a 4 cost or less with the trigger. I think that's pretty cool. One thing you'll notice about the deck build nowadays, though, is that the triggers are a lot less swarm-based. So before, we ran 4 Kikinojo, 4 Inuyasha, 4 Nekomamushi, which Nekomamushi I wouldn't consider... I would not consider Inuyasha anymore, but Nekomamushi, again, another good target you could consider to put back in. But instead of triggering out bodies like crazy, now we have effects that let's see, trigger rest of 4 cost, trigger KO a rest of 3 cost, trigger rest of 4 cost. Just triggers that save you a lot more, rest of 4 cost. And I tell you what, you're so aggressive, you're not going to take a whole lot of life. I think I've yapped a little too long about the leader, but I really am so excited about Arlong. I love this leader. Enjoy the games. I have no idea what I'm going to play against, so let's go find out. Okay, we will start off first against the new Nami. This is a leader that I thought would be completely busted, but in my playtesting, it's not really been doing as well as I thought. So if you don't know, it has 2 abilities. Your turn, once per turn, you may activate this effect when a life card leaves the area, yours or theirs. Draw a card if you have 7 less in hand. That's decent, but with 1 down attached, on opponent's attack, you can ditch a card and it gains plus 2,000 power for the turn and essentially becomes a 2K leader. Now, this is not at least in my playtesting, because I play Arlong a lot, that does a lot of 7K pings, obviously, because you're throwing out 6K bodies and then the 7K with the leader. They have to discard a card to do it, so like they just got an ACOS, which means they probably have another one. And then they have to do it again, and they already only have 4 cards in hand. Now that's the equivalent to, of course, just ditching a 2K and a 1K. So it's more efficient because they didn't have to use a 2K, but the fact of the matter is that they still had to discard 2 cards. You see what I'm saying? They go down in hand size a lot. Now I definitely think this is gonna be fine eventually, but right now, I don't know, man. I don't think I want to take this, actually. I don't want to take Banish this early. And their hand size is pretty low, so I think it's okay to do that. Let's see. They have 1, 2, 3 rested cards, so Arlong is not online, and I only have 4 life, actually. I just realized I didn't take that. So first, we will swing 7, just to get that leader ability out. Or maybe they'll just take. We'll say, Penguin, what will you do? They give up a Red Rock, which is a good idea. I run a lot of weenies. I don't think they're going to want to use Red Rock. I mean, I do run Hody. We'll throw out Brule. Why not? Okay, so now, we're at 3 cards in hand, but that's a lot less scary than them being at 4 cards in hand. And they're at 3 life. We're aggressive. They can kill Kikunojo if they want. That's actually smart. That Nojiko card is actually really, really good. Do we get another Nami, maybe? I don't care to take 2 damage here. See what we get from this. That's not really what I want right now, because I don't really care to. I don't care to take 2 damage, really. We'll go ahead and play this to kill. It's another body to swing with. So now we definitely are at less than, so we can throw out Arlong now. Ruby will be good for later. Let's see what we want to do here. Could we possibly do... Not if we want to swing wide. So here's the cool thing, too. We can literally just swing 5, because they are still a 5K body here. So they have to discard a card to get that plus 2,000. So even though it's going to be 5 into 7, they still have to discard a 9-cost Sanji to do that. So they're still losing hand value. And in this game, if you don't really know, losing hand value is worse than losing life. You can be at 7 life, and if your opponent has a full board and you have 1 card in hand, it is pretty much as good as done. Not in 1 turn, because you have 7 life, but I set up a bad analogy. If you have 5 life, and your opponent has full board and you have 1 card in hand, you're done. So hand size is a lot more valuable in this game than life. That's one thing a lot of people don't realize. So now I'm back at 5 life. We do get Luffy here. If Luffy swings life, we just take it. I don't care. And he can't return. That's another cool thing about Arlong. He gets the 7 cost. He gets to keep it on your turn. So no returning with leader ability, baby. You ain't doing it. Now you could return Brule, which I'm just gonna play it again next turn. We'll take. No need to play. I'm kind of bricking on choose now. So now I want to counter. I don't. Oh, sure, you can have that. Now I think I want to counter, but I think I'll. Ooh, can I win here? Let's swing. So we could do 8 with double attack. That they'll definitely counter that, and then I can just. Okay, here's what I do. I swing. I'm gonna go ahead and just put out Brule. Now let's swing. I could do 8 here to get the leader ability out. We can put him at 0. I didn't want to risk winning because they can still do that. They'll do that, and then they'll give me a 2K, which is huge. Now we can swing really big, get a guaranteed double attack hit off, and put them at 0. Unless they want to give me every card in their hand. Yeah. And we have a blocker on field. I'm actually feeling really confident. Unless they can kill my blocker here with these triggers, which is possible. I didn't think about that. I probably should have saved the blocker for last. Oops, I forgot I was playing yellow. He does have a trigger. Yeah, you need to be able to KO. You need to be able to remove a life to do that. So I guess we're fine. I guess he wants to just be able to swing wider. I have no idea. But I should be fine if they try to block her up. So they're gonna red rock Brulee. That's a little excessive. We are stacked with counter though. Kind of. So let's see. They're gonna go 5 here, and then they can go 6 and 8. So I can counter the 5 and the 6, and then take the 8. So that's fine. We'll take the 8. They're gonna give me back my. Yeah, I mean, and then they can do 7. Yeah, we're fine. We'll just, for shits and giggles, rest this. We don't need another one. And then 7, we can definitely counter out of. That's GG's, brother, and they realized it. Yeah, the deck is just too aggressive. Like, a lot of these decks are just, like, trying to build up for things in late game, and this deck is just way too explosive to deal with that. Let's get into another game. Now, I do have to remain true to my word and go up against a blue-purple Luffy. I do want to give a big, fat disclaimer. It is incredibly lucky that I am getting to pick to go first, because that is very key in this matchup, I think. I keep wanting to say black-purple Luffy. Blue-purple Luffy. Just read the effect. It's a run-on sentence, but it's cracked. Okay, so one of the things that is really good is that we're going to be able to just ping at him a lot until he gets to 8 Dawn. I feel like the game plan with this deck is just to ramp to 8 Dawn as fast as you can. So we need to ping to death and just kill that hand size. We don't care to take damage. They start at 3 lives, so our Kiku no Joe triggers are online. Everything is online. So Arlong is huge here. Turning off attacks is good, keeping ourselves healthy. We need to save 3 Dawn for that. We can swing 7, 8. Try to get some damage off, I think. That'd be good. Yeah, and then see if an 8 goes through. Putting him at 1 life early is going to be pretty good. Then we'll put out Arlong, get rid of an Arlong, just super aggressive. Give me 2 cards. Great. Depending on what he does next turn, he could play a blocker. If he plays a blocker, let's see, he's at 7 Dawn, so he can't play the Katakuri. He could play that 5-cost Nami blocker. Not anymore, because he just used... Okay, that's fine with me, man. He has 4 Rested Dawn, so we cannot use Arlong. We don't really have any good targets for leader ability. Honestly, a valid strategy is to... I don't know if it's actually valid to Hody here. I don't think so. He left a lot of Dawn up, which means he does have a lot of... We can't kill him this turn. Let's just get that out of our head. So let's search. just get that out of your head, please. Let's get a Karubi. That's going to be good to rest those 8-cost Katakuri blockers are such jerks. So we could go 8, 8. Let's just go 6, 8, 8. Get cards out of hand. That's going to be huge. Yeah, so we get a Rosie. That's fine. One thing I really want to get out of hand is any kind of events if he has them. If he hasn't, okay, that's a little weird that he took. Unless he's just incredibly bricked. Oh, man. He's using counter. So this is where the deck really comes along. At 8 Dawn, before your turn starts, you look at the top 5, draw a card, then return it to the top or bottom in any order you want, and then you start your turn and draw a card. So you basically get to draw 2 cards a turn. It's kind of stupid. Well, we don't have any 2Ks. That's nuts. Let's give him 2 1Ks. I need to keep that. No, this is a 9 mom. If it's a Sanji 9 mom, that hurts. Sanji 9 mom. Yep. That's the combo. Now, even just getting to do that once is pretty freaking devastating. I'm not going to lie. Now, we can try to go for a cheeky win here. He has no Dawn up. I want you to keep that in mind. Actually, I think we can just win here. Yeah. Maybe. We do want to keep a backup plan. So let's go. We could go 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 7, 8, 9. Let's go 9. See what happens. And if he takes, then we all in. If he doesn't take, then we all in except for 1. So he is going to counter. That's smart. All in but 1. Swing. Use card action. Play out Arlong, and then we'll get rid of this Arlong. We don't have any use for it anymore. Lock him down. He's at 0 life, baby. Now, he can kill one of our Arlongs, but as long as we can keep 1 up, I think we're fine. We do have Hody. Hody is going to be huge if he leaves just 1 Dawn up. Kind of depends. We're going to 10 next turn. We have a lot of things to think about. Sanji Big Mom is actually not the end of the world. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be really real. We do lose that. I'll go ahead and start swinging live. He doesn't. So, I think the only choice here is to Arlong. We'll rest a Dawn and I guess rest a 9 Mom. Then we could go 8, 8. Right? Yeah, let's start with 8. See what that does. Yeah, he does get the counter. Then do another 8. So we do keep him at 0. That's good. We do have this. Now, it depends. If he 9 Moms again, we're screwed. But if he just blocks up, I think we could be fine. Even if he doesn't block up, I don't think he can win. He could actually win. Yeah. No, okay. I think he's cooked. That was a little stupid. I think all of these hits going through would have been awesome for him, but no trigger. I think I'm gonna just take all these. Especially now, unless he has a rush card, I just don't think he can win it. But what rush card could he have? I mean, we'll take... We can just play this to rest one of the blockers. Again, that's one of your freaking... That's such a good trigger. Such a good trigger. Okay. And then what do we got? A blocker. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Here's the play. He did get a lot more cards in hand. But he has no Dawn up. So we're going to swing 9. Card action. Throw out Karubi. Rest Nami. Now, if he's going to counter out of 9. He did get 2 Dawn back. Fudge. Oh, my God. He's got a Gum Gum. Oh, no. No, he doesn't. He was bluffing. Okay. So, admittedly, it is a winning matchup until this gets to start happening. 2 of these in a row is really hard to recover from. But, again, you just want to be able to just poke him to death. Poke, 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 poke. Hody needs to be teched in. Getting rid of Dawn like that. Now, I don't know if he ever had a Gum Gum Giant. I don't think he ever had it. I think he was always bluffing it. But, now he had to, well, he used those ramp. He never had it. But, that was clutch. Very clutch. But he did have a counter for it, which sucks. But, Hody's great. Hody's a great card. I'm going to do one... No, I think I'm actually going to call it there at 2 games. It's a pretty long video. The intro was really long. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. I think Arlong is actually a rogue deck. He has the perfect mix of aggro, and this card with the other Arlong card and the other Arlong card, just so much lockdown. You're just hitting face so much and keeping your opponent from being able to do anything. And I think that's really, really, really cool. Now, this matchup is one I need to practice more, but I do think... when I said he wins, well, I'm just being a little bit of a fanboy, but I don't think it's impossible, and I think it's probably close to even. I really do. Because this deck really folds into anything that can just rush it down. Like, Bella Betty beats it. Bella Betty destroys it because it does those 8k pings all the time. But it's honestly really good. And this deck really comes online when they can Sanji and Lin Lin, especially 2 turns in a row. That's nuts, dude. That's so crazy. I can't believe that happened. But GG to my opponents. Both of them, Nami and Luffy, both fell to Arlong today. And I will be probably actually maining Arlong in 11. So I'm going to live, as Elon Musk says, I am become meme. I hate that I said that. But you know what? You live in the dream, and then there's living the meme. I'm sorry. God. Okay, I need to go to bed. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.